Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ground Up with me, Natalee. I have been pursuing a career in acting for over a decade and have learned a lot. I built my career from the ground up, and I'm simply curious as to how other people did it too. I'm going to be gaining insights into how some of the most inspiring people got to where they are today. I'll interview entrepreneurs, actors, thought leaders, health experts, and many more. So if you're curious like me and gain motivation through inspiration, then this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to season 2 of Ground Up with Natalee. All right, you guys, today we have Sarunas Jackson, who is an actor known for his roles in Insecure, Good Trouble. He was in a couple Spike Lee movies. And I truly dig in and I get his ground up story. So you're going to hear how he was surfing on his friend's couch, how he was playing basketball, how Spike Lee literally offered him a movie. You're going to hear it all. And honestly, he just spits inspiration and wisdom throughout this whole thing that'll make you want to just start working on your craft outside of acting and figuring out ways of how you can stay proactive while pursuing a career in acting. But either way, just as a human being, his story is really, really great. Okay, stay tuned. The thing with, I feel like, as an actor too, I'm like, when I'm watching a scripted show, I feel like invested and like I'm working. So like I love watching
absolutely
cooking shows or like tennis or something because I'm like, ooh, this is like, I don't have to think about nothing.
Right.
You know? I don't know, like not invested.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's mindless television.
Right. So do you still enjoy it do you still really enjoy it? Because I
enjoy what?
When you're watching a show, like a scripted show or film, I found people that will still enjoy it, and maybe they're like, I just don't think about all this stuff. Or some people that are kind of lean into the technical side and they're like, I can't really enjoy it.
Stop thinking about it.
And I'm both.
I'm both too. No, I can enjoy. I can get lost. I'm actually not that heavy of a critic either. Like I enjoy a lot of television. I'm not like, oh, this is like the writing and the this and that. Like I enjoy most television,
nice.
Unless it's terrible or
that's hard.
If the acting is really bad or if it's hard. Like a job that I know is I was gonna say gifted. What the fuck is it called? Offered to an influencer or something. I'm like, let me watch this, and I'm like,
wait, do you actually watch those?
No.
Oh, because I'm not gonna watch He's All That.
Right.
I'm just not.
I'm not gonna sit through an hour and
also like no shade. I'm just not. I'm not the demographic. You know?
Right.
So
that's true. Yeah.
A lot of times, like I've heard the conversation for when it comes to like influencers in our business. And I do see them getting the roles, but like a lot of times I'm rarely interested in what they get. And then when they do give it to somebody, like I just watched Bad Boys 4, which it's not the first 2 Bad Boys, right? Mm-hmm. But I was going to be like, I'm just going to have fun with it. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. And then, but like I remember when people were seeing who was in it, like there's a rapper in there named
Joey Badass.
Joyner Lucas. Oh well, he's
in
right
Raising Kanan.
You're right, and in your power one because there's so many powers. Like my boy's Woody McClain, and he's on Ghost.
Okay,
yeah. But no, like I think his name. I don't know why I'm drawing blank. I know the guy's name very well. Joyner Lucas or Lucas Joyner.
Joyner Lucas is a rapper.
Joyner Lucas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
So he gets in. People were kind of. Some people were talking, it's all a whole bunch of ignorant people on the internet, but he had made a song and there was a lot of Will Smith references in there, I think, like aesthetically. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was called Will, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was called Will, and then he ends up in the movie later on, right? So people, I don't know, whatever, has shit to say about that. And I remember there was some, like, they're people I know. I wouldn't call them friends or anything, but these actors that I know, and I heard them talking and kind of scoffing at that. Mm-hmm. Then you watch the movie, he had 2 lines.
Oh my God!
Like, calm down. If you would have got this audition in the position we're in, you would be like, "What the fuck did you just send me?" You know what I mean? Yeah. Like with all due, because at this point in our career, at the beginning we're doing what we do. Yeah, there's no knock on that at all. But I'm just saying, you get to a certain point in your career, you're just like, okay, I'm past 2 lines in a 2.5 hour movie, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's how I be trying to tell people. I'm like, if you really pay attention, because Meg Thee Stallion was like, oh, she's gonna be a Marvel. What the hell's going on? She was in it for 5 seconds twerking. Like,
It's true.
It's fine.
It does depend. And
Yeah.
also a lot of these shows, like you're saying, He's All That or whatever, like they
Yeah.
don't do well. And I
Right,
think the
yeah.
studios are seeing like
It doesn't
that
translate.
It doesn't translate. And they get a lot of like viewership, but it doesn't, the actual movie doesn't like, the goal is to like get out there and like win awards or be
Yeah.
seen by a lot of people
Yeah.
and make a difference. And they're
Right,
just
right, right.
not.
Yeah, I mean, because also it just depends. I feel like there's so many, like, even within film and TV, right? You have so many genres, and then you have people making them for so many different reasons. There's so many demographics for something. Like, there's people that is been watching General Hospital for 10 years. Like, I know people are big fans of that show. There's people I know that would not watch a second of soap opera. They're just not for them. They love, like, my dad loves The Sopranos, and anything mob-like, anything about, like, my dad loves all that. So, there's just so much out there for so many different groups of people. Do you have a specific vision for your career, or like what kind of things you want to do, or are you like or are you
Yeah.
more open?
Yeah. So
Like, is it different now from when you first
it is.
started?
Yeah. So
Okay.
when I first started, and I actually think when I was doing research for this episode, I read something about what you said your first vision was, and mine was, I think, similar. So mine was like, I moved out here at 20, but from Orange County, so I'm only 2 hours away.
you
Yeah.
from right here, yeah. I'm from the IE, so.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 951. I started.
yeah,
And I was
exactly.
like, oh hey, what's up? But so mine was CW and Freeform. Like
Okay.
when I first moved here, I was like, I want to be on Pretty Little Liars. I want to be on Vampire
At that
Diaries.
age?
Oh my god, are you
Boom.
kidding me?
What? Of course.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what I want. I
Yeah,
was
for
obsessed with
sure.
like when I was younger, Selena Gomez, and so just
Right.
that young,
Yeah.
whatever I could see myself in, I was
Right.
like, ooh, I love that. And now it's shifted to, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I would, at this point, I would still do, CW, young adult
Yeah.
drama, but like my dream is like 007, yeah.
Scary.
Or
I would love that.
the genre
Yeah.
of like, A Man on Fire, like that type of Taken.
That's one of his
like,
best movies. Yeah, Denzel,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I love.
You know they're doing a series of that.
Are they
Yaya is in that leading role.
really? No, I did not know that. That was
You
like
see,
a random
and
reference.
I want to get at the fucking point where I know about a long time ago. I said when it's getting made, I'm like, oh, I didn't hear about this shit.
Yeah.
Like, nah, but yeah.
But what
nah.
about you? And so I think to answer your question, I've always loved TV.
Yeah.
That was my vision. I was like, you know what?
1000%.
I'm like, get me on a 6-year series. Like I'm down.
For
or
sure.
I
mean, for sure.
Yeah,
That'd be
those are
lovely.
hard to come by now.
I
but,
know. When you
know.
make it, like when I've seen a show like, oh, he's picked up for a 3rd season, I'm like, fucking good for you.
Totally.
Because there's so much going on now, things will fall through the cracks. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, even when I see when people go 3 seasons, that's like Good Trouble went 5 seasons.
I know.
And that's technically like 10 because it's a spinoff
Oh shit.
because of the Fosters.
Yeah, that's so true.
it's
or look
definitely
at
its own thing.
All American is a great one.
Man.
7. I feel like you've auditioned for that.
No, actually.
No?
I think they came to me
Football?
one time for maybe in the original one, not in the spinoffs, but no, I think I'm just now aging out of that.
Yeah, that's
unless
true.
unless I'm like a coach role or something.
That's true.
like
That's
that.
true. So okay, I want to hear about how your story in general. So first of all, I always ask everyone on every episode. We already know where you're from.
Okay.
The IE, but I want to know, what was your first dream job when you were a kid?
It's funny. I was just talking about this the other day. I'm coming from the air now. I'm from the IE, but I was born in Philly. But we came out here when I was a child.
Okay.
So Will Smith and Allen Iverson were kings to a young black kid. They were everything.
Yeah.
So I said I want to be a basketball player and an actor
No way.
because I seen Michael Jordan doing Space Jam.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you could do both. And then I seen Ray Allen do it, and He Got Game with Denzel, and I was like, I want to do both. And when you're a kid, you're saying like, oh, you're gonna do all these things because in your mind you can.
Yeah.
I didn't think that as I got older that was actually gonna be a possibility. But then I still did do both. I'm not gonna say semi because I did end up playing like in college and overseas internationally. But at 5 years old, I knew I wanted to act. When I saw Fresh Prince, I grew into my ears. I had big ears too. I saw Will Smith, his big ears. He was tall. He was cool.
Oh my God.
Wearing colorful stuff. I was like, what he's doing, I want to do that.
Yes.
I just kept saying, I want to do that. I want to do that. I didn't fully understand. I was saying I wanted to be like an actor, but I knew I was like, I just want to do what Will's doing. And then eventually I was understanding. I was like, oh, okay. Someone was like, oh, you want to be an actor? I was like,
sure.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'll do that. Can I still play
also
basketball? Yeah.
5 when I knew. I was like,
Wow.
yeah, like
See,
that.
we're some of the early ones.
I was like,
Wow.
I don't know what that is, but I want to be.
But what was it?
Doing that. I think it was Selena Gomez because she was on like Barney. Like girl
dang.
was like 5.
Oh,
when
so
she
you've
was,
seen her. You've
I like
been
grew
tabs
up
on her with her.
Yes, and now to see her
wow.
doing every murder in the building, all the murders in the building.
All the murders in the building. Yeah,
I've seen it. I don't know why I can't name it, but it's cool to see her like trajectory.
Yeah, it's really dope.
Okay, so what was your first job? Like you're 15, 16, job.
Nah, basketball and acting
Okay,
have
so
been my only 2 occupations. Oh, let me take that back. Actually, my mom had a friend. He liked her. All right, it is what he was trying to be nice and impressive. He
I'll
was
give
a really
your son
nice
a job.
guy.
He can wash cars.
It lasted like 2 weekends though, because as an athlete and like as a seriously recruited athlete, like you're not gonna have a job. You can't, because I'm always out of town. I'm travel ball. I'm never home there's no free time in a sense. Like they start molding you for like to be a athlete early on. Like,
so yeah, how does that
it
work?
goes.
So you're in high school, you're playing basketball.
Like I started playing even younger than that, right? So I think first time I played organized basketball, I was 9 years old, and then it just went from there. But as you get older, and then some of us are getting taller than the rest. Like by my freshman year, I was 6'4", right? Because I'm 6'8", right?
Wow.
So by my freshman year, I was 6'4".
They're like, we'll take you.
Yes, exactly. Basically, so you have a travel ball team. If you get with a respected one, it could be one like they're one of the top teams that Adidas sponsors. This is at that time is way different now.
Yeah.
Because you could get paid now and not get in trouble. So then you start doing AAUs, as you call it. So you're doing travel ball, and while you're going to these tournaments, that gives all these colleges an opportunity to see you. So they send their scouts, whether it's their head coaches, it could be head coaches you recognize from these big schools, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, UCLA.
It's a lot of pressure on like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid.
I guess so. But you're so
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
and also conditioned in a way. So now like it's almost like you're expecting to be at one of these schools, which I guess in a sense is kind of good that they instill that type of confidence in you young.
For sure.
Because you're just looking at who's there. I'm like, all right, whose attention I'm going to catch there? So I'm looking at all these ones. And then you just wait. And then after a while, then you start getting letters. Then you start getting phone calls. Then people start asking you to visit. And then you start getting offers. Acting was like in the back of my mind. So I wasn't taking it. I was like, well, I can't take this serious. I'm going to ball. It's going to pay for my college. Yeah. So, but then my senior year, I need an elective, and I see theater, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I always wanted to do this, because a lot of the guys were like, no, we're gonna do this like computer design class or whatever else. They were like, I'm not doing
theater
that.
kid and a basketball player.
I'm not doing that. I said, y'all got me fucked up. I'm doing this, right? I'm going. So
did you hide it, or were you like, no, I'm going to like theater class?
I was loud as hell. I'm not like, I was never like a shy guy like that.
They didn't make fun of you. They were.
Oh no, I did. Like, if anything, I might have got more shy when I was like outside of school, and I would say, because these guys know me, right? So I'm not like so nervous around them. But when I would talk to strangers, I didn't give myself permission to say I wanted to pursue acting or call myself an actor or a writer or anything like that until after my junior season in college. And then I just remember having a conversation with myself in the mirror, like out loud, like talking to myself. And then, I don't know, I just got out the shower. I think I might have watched, did you ever see Chronicle?
No. It's
with Michael B. Jordan. It's a movie about these 3 teenagers who obtain like telekinetic powers, right? And it's not a big budget, but it's done so well. And I was just like, I'm not far from that age at that time. I think I'm 19, whatever it is. And so I just kind of was like, man, like, I still want to do this. Like I would definitely love to do this, right? So I'm just still thinking about that. And in the off season, what I would do is I would come home and I would do basketball commercials.
Oh, wow.
At that time, you weren't supposed to get paid for basketball service rendered because it would affect your amateur status.
Mm-hmm.
So as a college basketball player, you weren't able to get paid nothing, right? To do anything. Not even if it's a commercial, it has nothing to do with college basketball.
Right.
They don't want you to, they want you to be broke. They didn't care. They'll profit off you, but you can't make money at that time. So I would still do them and I would just lie because a lot of times you see these commercials, they're cut so quick, you don't know I'm in there.
You don't
so I'm
know.
like, fuck them. I'm not gonna be a broke college student.
Well, what's funny is if you weren't playing basketball and you were just pursuing commercial acting or whatever, it wouldn't have made a difference. But just because you were playing basketball.
Yep.
So wait, did you have an agent? Did you pursue an agent at this time? You're 19,
No,
you're
not
living
yet.
in IE still?
No, so now at this point, so my first year of college, I go to Saddleback in South Orange County, right?
I went there.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so I
What
went
year?
there. I was like, well, I graduated high school 08.
Okay. Yeah, I graduated in 12.
Oh, so you're with my little brother then. So yeah,
Okay.
so I was already gone by then.
Okay,
I
okay.
left like probably 2-3
Did
years
you take
before
acting
then.
class there?
No.
Okay, because that's how I fell in love with.
Oh.
Small little story. My whole life knew I wanted to be an actor. I would sign up for drama class in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Every time I'd sign up, I'd walk in and I would look around and I would be like, this is not what I want to do. I'm like, who are these people? What is happening? I don't want to be in theater. I'm like, I
Okay.
didn't know yet the difference between TV and film and theater. And I was just like, for whatever reason, didn't like it. And so I would pick another elective and I would do like TV broadcast journalism or whatever, like a different elective.
Yeah. I did that
Then-
for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's fun because you do little scenes
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But then I got to Saddleback and they have a TV and film class by Maria Mayan Zet.
Fuck, did I miss this?
And you work with the director class with the red cameras.
Yeah.
You do scenes from Silver Linings Playbook or whatever the movie
Yeah,
that they.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is it. And we created reels with cameras and everything like
wow.
that. And that was when I was 17 because I graduated high school a year early and I went to
Oh,
Saddleback
damn.
in 12. So technically my graduating class is 13.
Oh, dang.
But-
Okay.
I just took the GED
Gotcha.
because I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I knew I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I was like getting bullied and stuff. And I was like, fuck this shit.
Oh,
I'm
damn,
like, I'm
for
taking
real?
a test. I'm getting out.
Dang. Wait, like, I don't know if you don't mind. Like, what were you getting bullied about?
Just girl drama. Girls are
Okay, got
mean, you know.
Teenagers are fucking mean.
Yeah, teenagers are mean.
I'm at the age where I roll my eyes if I'm in the movie theaters and a pack of teenagers come in.
exactly.
I'm like, ugh. I'm like, hey,
great.
keep it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm a grumpy old man. I roll my eyes.
And
Like, I know your
proud.
mama taught you better, man.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
No, it was bad. Like there was just also I don't even think I've ever shared this when I was younger, like in 9th grade. I got made fun of for being like, you know, I'm not just Latina, I'm Armenian as well. And when I was
okay.
younger, I was just really dark and, you know, hairy. I don't know. And so people would make fun of me like they didn't know what the fuck they were saying, like you
wow.
hairy Arab. Like
Don't even know what you're talking. Yeah, I
just
know. Trust me, I know.
At the time, I didn't know what it meant. I didn't care. All I knew is that I was disliked.
Where in Orange County are you from?
Dana Point, San Juan.
White.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah, very.
White,
and I didn't
yeah.
know
I
because
you're
my
talking about.
family is very white. And I am like
Complexion?
complexion wise.
Okay.
Because I don't know my biological father. And so my
Okay.
dad that raised me is 100% Swedish. And
Okay.
my mom, who's Armenian.
You knew that from the beginning that wasn't your daddy?
No.
Okay, well, all right, let's get, keep going.
I've actually never shared this ever.
I'm so nosy, my bad. This is what happens. I ask so many questions.
No, I found out when I was 16.
My cousin found out when he was 18.
Really? Yeah, it's some weird identity shit. You're just like, whoa.
Damn, so you thought you were half white for 16 years.
Yeah, and you know, my dad, so because I would get made fun of, my dad would pick me up and I would literally be like, there's my dad, the white, like
Look at this white guy. Stop calling me that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I'm not like, it was just, and I would put like SPF 100 on to be like, yeah, it's so terrible. Now I'm like, get me in the sun, if it's like gloomy in LA, I'm like, I need to go to Palm Springs. I need to get dark immediately.
Yeah.
But
that's so, yeah.
did we get there?
It's funny because when we're in the black culture, if you're light skinned, you're trying to get darker.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, why isn't it
Really?
working? I'm like, looking at my grandpa. I'm like, I don't look like you.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, because I got both my parents are mixed black people, right? So
Yeah.
my dad's black and German, and my mother, she was born in Panama, so she's Native American and black.
Oh, wow.
So like,
So you're like, where the fuck do I
I was just,
fit?
but I was raised like, okay, I guess I just identify as a mixed black man,
Yeah.
right? But I am Latino, so like my mother, like full on Panamanian, like that's she's Afro Latina, she's mixed and
You
everything.
speak Spanish.
I'm half fluent, but I understand it fluently.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense because
More
it was
than
them
me.
things. My mom speaks Spanish to me, and I answer in English. That's how it is a lot.
That's a lot of
times.
kids though. Like
It
whether
is.
you're Argentinian or
Yeah, it
Peruvian,
is.
whatever.
I have a lot of
They're
friends
like,
like
I
that.
never learned it. I can just
On the West Coast, that's how it is. The East Coast, they all know how to speak Spanish.
Interesting.
And it was my first language technically, and I spoke it very well when I was younger. Just as I got older, also, it was we're also helping our mother too. Like her English got so much better
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of us as well. So
And you think it's good at that time too. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, my kids are here. I want them to speak perfect English.
Yeah,
and
of course.
everything like
That's
that.
that's how. Especially she's a foreigner, so she's like, you got to take advantage of every. But yeah, I it's funny because there'd be jokes. It's a complexion thing in the community, right? It's, light skin jokes and stuff like that. Especially light skinned men is like, oh, he's soft or whatever. And so then because of that, I overcompensated and I would just I'd fight. Like, don't you try to be funny and stuff. I'm swinging.
Yeah.
Because I can't be light skinned and soft. I can only be one. So I'm already light skinned. That's not gonna change.
I'm a hard ass.
So now I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to be tough. I'm gonna be I'm the best player on basketball team. I'm gonna try to be the best football player I could be. I played all the sports and stuff. But then after a while, just I fortunate enough to be aware early on when I was younger, like in high school, I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
This is dumb. And I guess because I was finding success, when you're an athlete though, you don't really, especially if you're like a respected athlete, you don't really have the problems are different. They're just different. So socially, I don't have really problems like that. I'm
Right.
not like getting bullied. And I don't know, like I said, I fought. If people try to bully me, I'm like, well, what's happening there? I'm not here to talk. What's up? Like that's, just hot-headed and young and trying to prove your manliness, all that toxic
Yeah.
shit.
That's classic, like young.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just angry and stuff. But socially, like I said, you're gonna be accepted. And I was one of those people that tried to do everything. I was like ASB class president. My
Oh,
junior
wow.
year.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was like in clubs. I made friends with the gothic kids. These kids like Harry Potter, they're reading it at lunch all the time, the same book, but they're reading it all the time. I'm making friends with
You're
them.
there.
I was just
That's
like one
true
of those
popularity, by the way.
people. Is it?
Yeah,
You think so?
because
I guess I just wanted everybody to get have a good time. I don't know.
Yeah. In my school, popularity was so ASB kids and all of them, technically they would have been, in my opinion, that's the most popular. But the crowd that I was in was considered the popular kids, but they weren't involved in school. So they would just like, they would be like, hey, and then like go to the party on the weekend and
Did
stuff.
you guys have school spirit? 'Cause I went to a few different schools, and I can't tell you by far the best schools I went to are the ones that had school spirit. It was so
if I could go
fucking
back,
fun.
that's what I would do.
It was so
no,
fun.
can I tell you? That's why I wanted to play high school for so long.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because
okay,
I wanted to be a cheerleader in a show or something.
Hell yeah.
And actually, fun fact, I got cast in All American.
Oh shit.
And it was my dream. I was like, my agent was stoked. It was like heavily recurring role.
You book black shows as much as I do. You in
They
there.
always love to throw the Latina in there. They're like,
exactly.
we need a Latina.
You gotta
love interest.
Let's go all the complexions of browns
Yeah,
in here.
exactly.
Yeah.
But what happened it was during the pandemic, and I shot Raising Kanan in February
Right.
of 2020. So the pandemic hadn't hit yet.
Oh, I was out there filming a movie too.
Really?
Yeah.
In New York?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Until March.
Yeah.
When it got shut down.
And then, so they shut it down, and then we didn't hear when they were going back, didn't hear. So I started auditioning again in like September.
Right.
So then I book All American in October.
Okay.
And I shoot an episode, I shoot another episode, 2 episodes I shot. And then Raising Kanan called, and they're like, all right, we're ready to go. And Natalee has to move to New York. And I was recurring. So you don't move usually, for anyone listening to this who doesn't know this,
Yeah.
you don't
'Cause you're not
move
exclusive.
to the place you're shooting. They'll fly you back and forth if you're recurring. If you're a series regular, you get a stipend. It's or a
Relocation
travel
fee. A
Thank you.
relocation fee, yeah.
And then you move to that place. But this case was just like fly back and forth. But they're like, you're not allowed to fly back and forth. So we're going to pay for you to live here.
Okay.
And we're going to pay you per diem every day for 8 months. And you're going to come move here and you can't fly back for anything else. So I had to get recast in All American. Another fun little story I've never shared. All right, guys, let's take a quick break from the show to talk about our sponsor, Mastermind Media. I've been shooting with Mastermind for a few years now, and I can truly say that they have covered all of my needs within the digital space. They create logos for me, graphic designs for my journal magic. Obviously, they produce the podcast, and it looks amazing. So I love working with them, and they're offering all of my listeners 15% off. So just shoot them an email and tell them that I sent you, and you'll get the discount. All of their information can be found in the show notes below. All right, guys, back to the show.
Which role was bigger? The Power one.
Yeah. And I had already signed on to Power.
Yeah.
Like I already shot episode 1 in February. And so.
Also, probably something real different for you, though.
Which one?
Power.
Oh, yeah.
That universe. I mean, because All American, I could see you going into something else like that.
Totally.
But in a way, you kind of well, I need to know.
Oh, yeah.
When am I getting the next season of Tell Me Lies?
It comes out.
Love that shit.
Really?
Love that shit.
Oh, my God. I love it.
You kind of ain't shit, but in a sense, right? Or how do you feel about your character?
What'd you say?
How you feel about your character? How it
ended. Yeah. She has her reasons.
Right.
She has her reasons. Season 2 comes out. We got a date that we're not allowed to
say nothing
share,
yet?
but the date must be coming out soon. But it comes out in fall, which I think
Okay.
is
That's
obvious.
safe.
So I think that's fine. That's safe, right?
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so this year though.
Yes, it's coming out this year. We're done
Jeez.
filming.
When did it come out? The first one.
Oh my God!
I feel like I've seen this a long time ago.
A long time ago, because the pandemic or the strike pandemic.
Yeah. At this point, Jesus,
Same
what
thing.
else? Yeah, no.
We were supposed to film exactly during that time, and it would have come out last fall.
Yeah.
So
okay,
now-
yeah, that makes sense.
We just ended filming.
Oh.
So I'm excited for that to come
and
out.
it's funny because that character is at the tail end of high school, going
Yes.
into college.
Right. So I never got to
So
play
you
that.
still haven't, you like
Yeah.
almost.
And I'm never at the campus on season 1. Remember? Because I'm not friends with
That's right. You're
those
back
friends.
home.
Yeah.
You're back home.
So season 2, there's some campus stuff, which is fun. But
Okay.
All American, I had like backpack on in the hallway. I was
Wait.
like, let's go.
Get my Degrassi on. Fuck out of here. That's fire. Yo, I wanted to do that so bad too.
Right?
I wanted to do
now
it like.
it's definitely pushing out of that phase.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, hey, unless when it comes to like athletes, I'm still in a run for some of that stuff because if you look at some of these athletes, man, these guys look like they have whole families. Like these guys, big guys, I'm like, dog, you look older than me. What the hell is this? So sometimes it'll still come my way when it comes to that stuff. But outside, if it's not an athlete, no.
Okay, so
No way.
talk to me about, I want to know about your acting journey.
The acting journey and like the tail end of my athletic career kind of ties in. So like I said, my senior year, I take theater in high school. Miss Mastrioni is the first person outside of myself that gives me confidence that I could do this. She comes up to me one day and she goes, hey, I know you're going to go to college for basketball or for sports or football, whatever you're going to choose, but I really think that you could take this serious if you wanted to. And I just felt I need to tell you that I wouldn't be doing any justice as your teacher here to not say something. And I remember I was like, oh shit, like I've always wanted to, but I never told nobody that. Not like nobody outside of like my big brother and my big sister. Like I was just like, oh, like somebody else said it. And it just like opened up like, oh, I could take this serious.
Wow.
So then I'm starting to look at schools. I'm like, well, who's recruiting me? Let me see who has like a film TV program or a theater program. I start looking at that.
Smart.
And then I'm getting offers, scholarships and stuff. And then some of them, they either don't have one or like not a good one, or the team's like, how? Or the theater program's like, it's going to be really hard or whatever, right? So I ended up not doing that in college, which I was sad about. I tried for a semester, and it is hard. If you're trying to do a play or trying to be a part of something. There's all those rehearsals and stuff. Just wasn't happening. All my hours was going
Those
to
careers
sports.
specifically, sports and acting, and like trying to pursue both of them, especially at play.
Yeah.
Not even like an audition where you can like spend a few hours in it. A play is like 7 days a week, practicing, rehearsing.
Exactly. You're right. And so then, all right, I put it in my head, I'm like, all right, look, I'm going to do this basketball thing. If I don't make it to the NBA, I'm going to do this international thing, give it 2 seasons, 3 max, come back and go full-fledged, right? And then in my off season, just try to book whatever I can, which I would. Mainly basketball was my way into acting, funny enough, though, right? So I used that as my typecast. Anything basketball, I was doing it. Nike commercials, AT&T, whatever it is, bank commercials. And my first role was just being a basketball player in a basketball scene, right? And it was a pivotal part of the movie, though. It's a movie called The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. And yeah, so he's throwing the game, and in that game, I'm playing in it. But that's how I first got in my theatrical. And so I have a name and everything. So before it comes out, I'm trying to get representation. And I'm lying to make it seem, because I was casted as a principal. I'm glorified background, but I was casted as principal.
But how did you get cast in it without being repped?
So his name is Mike Fisher. Shout out to Mike Fisher. If you're watching a movie with sports, whatever it is, a lot of times he has something to do with it.
Okay.
He probably had something to do with All American. Maybe not. So he used to cast me in commercials all the time, and he's the one, like, he would just at a certain point, once he knows you and likes you and he knows you do good work, he'll hit you up. Hey, I'm doing this movie. You want to do this?
How did you meet him?
So now my big brother majored in film and TV at Clark Atlanta. He played basketball as well at Clark Atlanta University. He was working on a production side of things and worked for a director named Paul Hunter. Paul Hunter he directed Michael Jackson, You Rock My World video, Mariah Carey videos, he's done it, you know? And my brother was working for his company, and he loved basketball. A lot of people in this business like basketball, especially like, you know, the people with money up there, they love it. You see at the Laker games who's there.
Oh, everyone.
So I use basketball a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like, a great avenue to
when
use.
When people out there golfing, I'm just gonna hoop like with some of these guys who like have the dreams that wanted to play ball, and then I just hoop with them. So, but Paul PH, he has a basketball court in his backyard, and we would play basketball at his house. He knew I wanted to get in this business. My junior year of college, he's like, "Yo, I'm doing this Jordan brand commercial. Chris Paul's coming to the Clippers. You want to be in it?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So my first job, I shoot 3 days at Paramount. It's the craziest commercial. There's like horses, a man on fire. Wow. It's because the slogan is like quickness controls chaos.
Okay.
So there's chaos. And then he throws a lob. I jump over a little boy and dunk it. As this little kid's trying to run on the court, so I had to jump over and like dunk it and stuff. Which, for people who don't know, if you're getting in this business, let somebody else do the dunking for 3 days. You had to do it over and over and over and over. My body was not the same after that. I kid you not.
Forever. Stop.
It was.
He's like, "You want to do this commercial?"
I was just like, yeah. And obviously, when he said dunking, I was like, oh, for sure.
You're
I'm going to be in it.
My name's all over it. Yeah.
Man, and dunking at that time, I could jump out the building. Oh my! After 3 days,
oh my gosh, a 3-day commercial shoot, by the way.
It was crazy.
That's a long one.
Crazy because there's so many different portions you got to do. It was so nuts.
In
2011.
Okay.
I do my first commercial in 2011. 2012, I do another commercial. It's still in the basketball world, but no basketball. It's a speaking role now. And it's a Foot Locker commercial. And it's funny. A lot of those commercials are funny.
Yeah.
So it's with this basketball player named Carmelo Anthony. And it was my first speaking job. And it did well. It was funny. And that was the one that caused a little drama when I went back to school. Like, other teams were like trying to get me suspended because, you know, I was violating NCAA rules, but I was like, I wasn't playing basketball.
Oh no, that's so dumb.
Yeah, I wasn't playing basketball. And then they were like, it's still basketball apparel and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I didn't get paid.
And you're like, I'm an actor in it. I'm not a basketball player
That's
in
what
it.
I said. I was like, but I wasn't playing. I was like, and also I didn't get paid. I lied.
Yeah,
completely got
good.
paid. Yeah, the residuals were amazing.
Yes.
I
They're
was
trying
like,
to keep you
cool.
from making money.
Yeah, so I was like, great. I was, man, and you know what's crazy? At first, you know, I'm only doing these national commercials at first. I'm thinking, oh man, you get paid so good in this. So when I did my first like guest star, I was like, what the fuck is this?
By the way, same trajectory.
Oh yeah.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Nationals all the
okay.
way. I still do
Yeah.
them.
Oh, I need to get back so bad.
I do around like.
Oh, that's great.
Knock
that you
on
do.
wood, like couple a year.
And that's what I was doing. Oh, it makes the world.
If I'm here,
of difference.
I'm available. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like a lot of my shows, I don't know if yours are the same, don't shoot here. So once that happens, I can't audition for them. So like
yeah, of course.
But if I'm here and I'm available, I'm auditioning for it.
Got you.
And if I can
what
shoot
about
it,
when you're in New York though?
can't. Well, there's
Really?
no commercials really, because my agent is here. So I'm just like, hey, I'm booking out for 2 months. And he's amazing. He's like, get it, girl. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because I'm sure some commercial agents would be like, you're not making
Because
any
they're
money.
trying to eat. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. They're trying to
exactly.
eat. Yeah. Yeah, that's, oh gosh. When I first went into TV, and then I was like, hold on, I feel like I'm going to take a pay cut doing this shit. What the hell is this?
But then you get that. Yeah.
Then, exactly. You know how it builds and stuff.
Exactly.
But so yeah, I kept doing basketball stuff at the beginning, and then finally, I would say my first, like in 2015, my first main thing was it was a video game actually.
Ooh.
It was NBA 2K16, and this was the first time they were doing like a complete story mode. They always had a story mode, but they were like vignettes. This was like a full on script. When I booked it, I didn't know it was a video game yet. I thought it was just a script. Like I got the script, whatever. I didn't know who was directing it yet. I go in. I do well. I get a call back, and then they call again and it was like, never mind, you're just gonna go test. Now, I'll tell you what's crazy about this. I auditioned for it, but let's just say that Friday, I was gonna go back. I was gonna go and play in China. I was like, let me go for a few months and just rack up some bread. I need some money now. It's gotten real slow.
Play for
Basketball. Yeah, there's a
okay.
professional league in China. You know, they have
Okay.
professional leagues in like in different countries and stuff. Like
Okay.
they have their NBA over there. Their
So that was an
CBA.
option for you. You were already in
Gonna
on
make some
that.
good money.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. But this audition comes up. I was like, fuck it, I'll still go. You never know. You know, it's the booking rate is
Yeah.
you know. So I was like, all right. But then I see it was a basketball role. I was like, ooh, they might fuck with me on
Yeah,
this.
I might really be in the running for this. Yeah.
I was like, let me just go and see. So I go, okay. Then they're like, okay, call back. I was like, fuck this. I can't go through this. Like, let me not. Then they're calling in and they're like, okay, you're gonna test. And I was like, oh shit. Like, at that point, I don't think I ever tested at that point.
Yeah.
I gotten callbacks, a bunch of callbacks, but never tested. I was like, all right.
Have you even had book yet that wasn't commercially? This is like your first.
Yeah, but again, it never something like an actual real role. It just was basketball related or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just like if I did, it was like something
Nominal.
super small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then my agent calls me. This is like Wednesday or Thursday. She calls me. She was like, okay, so normal information, act like it's normal information, but when you go and test, I don't want you to be surprised when you go in there, but you're going to be testing for Spike Lee. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started thinking, because when I was looking at some of the lines, there was like some He Got Game references. I was like, oh shit, this is not like I was like, wait, hold on.
This is connected.
And it wasn't. It was kind of, they're in the same universe, but it wasn't like a sequel or anything. Because I was like, what the fuck is this? So I was like, all right. I was like, damn. And she was like, okay, you'll be testing Saturday. And I was like, I got to give these people an answer. I was like, do I not take this for sure job and make 6 figures, well over 6 figures, leave Friday? Or do I take a chance and test? And then, like, I remember I was like, and then I just went back to that moment when I was in college and I had that conversation with me, giving myself permission to like
Chills.
to like permission to like call myself an actor. Because I remember in that conversation, I was like, no one is going to look at you as an actor because you're not looking at yourself as one. Why would they? Nobody will. So get your shit together, take yourself serious, stop being embarrassed or ashamed. People want to be all type of shit. People want to be shit that you would never want to do. So why do you care what people think? Because I'm scared people gonna be like, why are you too tall to act? Whatever, because I heard that shit all the time. And then in that moment, I just went back to that conversation, was just like, you know what? How often am I going to be able to test for Spike Lee? If I want to do this seriously at some point in my life, I have to take it serious now. And so I hit my agent up. I was like, look, man, my basketball agent at that time, who was a really nice Taiwanese man.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, I just need you to trust me and understand that I can't go on Friday. I can't make this trip. I can't go and play for them. Give them my biggest apologies. I don't mean to be inconvenienced. I know they're going to have to find somebody super last minute.
Oh my God.
I was like, but I have an incredible opportunity that's happening on Saturday that I can't miss out on. And he was like, what is it? So I explained it to him. He was like, Spike Lee? He's like, I want to be mad, but, you know, go pursue that, man. That's the last time I ever talked to him, too. So
wow.
I do want to thank him, you know, at some point if I could ever find his contact again. But that's the last time I talked to him.
Wow. Because you booked it.
And I booked it.
Oh my God.
And it was like, it felt like being an athlete because they were getting cut. There was like 4 people to each role that was testing.
Yeah.
And people were getting cut then and there right in front of your face. So one by one, you're like seeing, like they're coming out like, okay, thank you for your time, whatever. And then I was like,
You're
whoa.
still standing.
I was like, whoa. We all in the room, like I went to go test with Spike. And my big brother went to Clark Atlanta, right? Spike went to college at Morehouse and took classes at Clark Atlanta, film and TV major. He would go back and go to the Morehouse versus Clark games because those are big rivalry games.
Okay.
That's UCLA. It's like that for HBCUs, right? Big rival. And for those who don't know, HBCU is a historically black college university. So my big brother went to one. Spike heard about my brother because my brother was killing at that time. My brother was a beast, right? And he went to go check him out and play. And before one of the games, my big brother comes out to get me, my dad, and my little brother. He was like, come here, I want y'all to meet somebody. I'm 13 years old. I go in there. It's Spike.
Oh my God.
I shake his hand, and I'm already like 6'1" at the time, 6'2". He was like, damn,
13?
he was like, yeah. He's like, you gonna ball too? He's like, or I was like, yeah, 6'1". And he was like, are you gonna ball like your brother? I was like, yeah, and I could be in one of your movies when I get older too.
No.
Did
you tell him the story?
Hell yeah, I was trying to book. So I was in there. I was like, yo, I gotta tell you this story before we go any further. And I told him the story. And he was just like, is your brother like, he was really light? My brother was like super light. He's like your complexion.
Yeah.
But like, and we have different mothers. His mother's full black. Like technically out of all the kids, he's like the blackest one, but he's the lightest one.
So funny.
That's how genetics work.
Yeah.
But my Spike remembered him being like the really super light-skinned guy that was killing them. And I was like, yeah, that's him. So I was just trying to charm my way into it. And then he ended up giving me that and put me in his next movie right after that too, called Chirac, with everybody was in it. That's where I met Wesley Snipes, Angela Bassett. Like it was just like that was the start of my journey. And
what an incredible story. Seriously, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And then you never balled again as far as like professionally?
No, well...
Besides in acting roles.
Like, yeah, well, technically, kind of, I did, like, but it was like, I went because there was like, it was like at the end of a season.
Okay.
And it was like, I was only going to be there for like a month and a half or 2. And I was like, oh, it's dead time right now for me too.
Yeah, we do have a lot of time off as
actors. I was like, let me go make this bread real quick.
Yeah.
So I did that, but like I knew that was going to be, and that opportunity like that rarely happens. So, and that was the last time I did play, which was,
And you had Spike
2015,
calling you
16.
for like movies and shit.
Yeah,
so
I was just like, nah, I'm doing this for real.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I need to book a procedural because that's the rite of passage. Like a guest star on a procedural.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the rite of passage. All my favorite ones, I'm like, oh, look, they did this.
I love that.
You know, all that happened.
That's so true.
Yeah, so that was great.
Okay. So then what? Was there ever like, I want to hear about like the lulls. Like, so you're doing this.
Yeah.
You do a couple great movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long until you book? What were your goals at the time? Did you want to book a TV show?
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? Yeah, I wanted to I wanted to book that leading role in the TV show. I wanted to book that lead in the film. And I'm so happy I didn't at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. But like, so I booked 2 Spike back-to-back joints. I booked the guest star on the procedural.
Okay.
And then I get what's supposed to be a 2-episode guest star on Transparent. I don't know if you remember that show, right?
Yeah.
And then by the time they cut everything down, I was literally in one scene, and I didn't even have any lines in it. I was like, I spoke. What the hell happened on everything?
Chopping block.
So that was my first experience. So I was like, okay, this is good. I went through this.
Get that experience out of the way. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking, okay, 2 Spike joints, did my guest star, cool. And then I was like, oh, I did 2 episodes on Transparent, at least on my credits, as I was going to say. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking I'm about to get this rolling. Man, it goes quiet for a very long time.
Yeah. And you're living in LA, and you're like, what do I do at this point?
So then ever so lucky, I did get lucky where I would get like a basketball commercial here, a basketball there. But I wasn't getting them as much as I was. So I was just like skating by a lot, you know, or I would get lucky where they would run something again, and then I'll get some random checks.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank
God.
goodness.
Oh my God,
man.
The residuals.
Yeah, saving my life. Literally at times where I paid rent, I was like, I don't have any money. We'll see what happens for next month.
Residual gods.
Yeah, like do your thing.
Yeah,
I was in that position so many times.
Yeah, same.
So 2 years, it was really like slow.
And you're auditioning this whole time.
Oh yeah, I'm auditioning.
Because your reps are,
and I'm getting close now.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get close now.
Okay.
So I'm feeling something's gonna happen. Then this is what happens. So then there comes a point where I said, all right, I love the people in my life for sure and people I hang out with, but I really want to find my tribe in this. I want to find other creatives that aren't envious or jealous or weird. People, you know, that had like, I just want, you know, when you meet somebody, you just like, oh, they get it. Like, you know, you have that connection with them. I was like, I want to find, you know, my creative brothers and sisters and stuff, and
people I can trust.
Yeah, like-minded.
Feel inspired by.
Exactly. Also, I also was trying to find people where it was like, there's a lot of people in this business where, you know, they were like in theaters or like theater nerds or something like that. I can't fully identify with them all the time. I have appreciation for that. I have that sector of friends.
Yeah.
But I needed to find people I felt like in my mind, I'm like, maybe you played a sport in high school. Before all this, I needed, like, when it came to like homeboys and stuff, sometimes I needed to know, like, before any like type of fame, like, were you able to approach women and attract women without this? Because if you weren't, some of those guys could be weird when it comes to being around women. Like, they start doing too much for attention. And I'm just like, I don't like that energy. I needed the guys that were calm, confident, that weren't so thirsty for women's attention. Like, so there wasn't no competitiveness about it or jealousy about that. Like that, you know, I was in my 20s in LA going out, like, you know, just trying to mix it up.
So you had experience with that. So you were like, I don't need
all that. Like, you know, so then I end up, my boy, Matt Murray, who's an actor, he's done a lot of shows. He was like on In the Dark on CW, and he's doing amazing. I say that 2 weeks later, I'm going to go to one of these fucking Hollywood clubs I hate, like
Warwick,
Tower, One Oak, or something like. It was One Oak.
Okay.
So I'm going there because it's a friend's birthday. I was like, this is the only time I ever go to these establishments because I'm with social support. I go there. Of course, there's bullshit happening at the door, all this stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take them to lunch. Fuck this shit. I'm out. So I decided to leave. I parked far because at that time I'm still trying to save money. I'm not paying for parking. I parked far, meet or whatever. Cool. I go down this certain street. And I see Matt walk out. So I see this dude walk out. And at that time, I had seen him. There was a small show called LA Complex. And at the time, an ex-girlfriend of mine and me and her had binged this show. And when we binged it, I saw him on there. He probably did like 3 or 4 episodes on there. I see him. And I'm on the phone with the girl who got cast in the Spike Lee video game with me, who played my girlfriend in there. Because I'm, what you doing? I'm doing this, whatever. Let's link up, whatever.
I'm leaving this joint.
I'm like, fuck this. What you doing? So I'm talking to her, and then I see him, and I'm like, hey, yo. And then
back.
It's late. It's late at night, mind you. It's probably like 11:30 or midnight. And he looks at me, and sees this big dude coming, and he looks me up and down. He from Detroit too. So at first he was like, what the fuck? So I was like, oh no. I was like, bro. I was like, LA Complex, and he was like, what the fuck? Yeah. You remember we were talking before? Like, I recognized from something that he didn't think nobody would. Usually he was recognized for this show called Rookie Blue, or this one called Kevin from Work that was on before Freeform, ABC Family for a little bit. So and I never seen those two. I seen LA Complex. He was like, dog, nobody ever. No, he was like, that's crazy. And then he looks at me. He was like, wait, hold on, man. He was like, 2K, which is the Spike Lee video game, NBA 2K.
God.
And he was like, bruh, he's like, I got you paused right now in my apartment. I'm about to go get something to eat.
No.
Yeah. And so we're talking. He's telling me what he got coming out. We connect. And we having a great conversation. He was like, man, take my number down. He's like, we're going to be hitting some pool parties this weekend. Some other guys I know from Toronto. They're from Toronto, actors and stuff. I was like, all right. These guys I meet that weekend end up being guys. Now we've been friends for 8 years now.
No way.
Yeah. And like one of them, we're producing a movie together right now, a limited series. Like we're just, all these guys became roommates with one. Like it just from, like I found a tribe with these guys and it became like this beautiful thing because then it was like, we would help each other. And I still have that to these days with other friends that are doing this. Like we'll help each other. Same audition. We could get the same audition.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother us at all.
Same.
We'll send tape, whatever, and be like, all right, this is what I did. And then someone's like, they're saying they're taping tomorrow, they'll see it. They're like, oh shit, okay, you did a whole. And then sometimes we'll wait just so we're like, all right, I don't want nobody to get ideas. Like, do what you feel is natural. Then we'll send it and then we'll be like, oh, and you can see how different we all are. I'm like, this is exactly why it doesn't fucking matter. Look how different your take is.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Doesn't matter ever. So,
but I love that you intentionally put out into the universe. You're like, dude, I need to find my people. It's the only way I'm going to survive in this city and in this career.
Absolutely.
And then, boom,
man,
comes walking
right
down
there.
the street.
And literally he's like a brother to me now. And
I believe in that so much.
You do?
Like, yes.
Like, you talking about like speaking it out.
Intention setting.
Absolutely.
And just being specific with like yourself, with the universe about what you want.
Yeah, I'm a big, I have a huge belief in my own manifestation and things like that as well. And I think you come across a lot of those people with what we do. You have to have some type of crazy belief, but there's people looking at you, looking at me, and they're like, damn, like, I need to, and they're like, want to get to where we're at.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but you're not even like, you're like, oh.
You're not even processing that. You're just like, nope, I need to get to the next thing, next thing.
Yeah. I think for me, and to also talk about like what I've seen, I always wanted like to do, like the guys I looked at where I felt like I could kind of connect. I was like, man, the Will Smith, Ryan Gosling. I was like, see, I felt that even though to me, Philip Seymour Hoffman is the greatest actor of all time to me, I was like, I'm going to be realistic though. I don't know if I have that stretch in me where I could just, Daniel Day-Lewis transform his body. Yeah. Olivia Colman is my favorite actress ever. Her, Meryl, all of them. Like, I'm like, I didn't know if I had that.
Right. It's like realistic in a way, but but it's not like you're.
I'm not knocking myself.
Yeah, you're not knocking yourself. You're not not having dreams and big aspirations and intentions. You're just literally. There's also an element of like, I don't know if I want. It's like Jim Carrey. He's like a method actor. It's like I don't have a.
Oh yeah, like Man on the Moon and all that.
Yeah, to be that way. I'm like, I think it's important. Delusion is important. You need a little bit of delusion.
You gotta have a little sprinkle.
You gotta have a sprinkle.
Yeah.
But there is an element of bringing yourself down to earth, because then there's people who pursue this career for decades and decades and decades and decades, and they never book anything. And it's like, you got to go inside and be like, what do I actually want? Like
1,000%.
What is my purpose meant for? It could be something else.
Yeah. I've been in acting classes and I'm like, boy, this is rough to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm the best there is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
There's a reality to this
I'm
too.
competent. Yeah, you gotta
we're having a conversation. Obviously,
I'm just like, for some people, I'm just like, man. Now I could never have that stretch of delusion. I'm also very aware and grounded and logical.
Sometimes I wish I had a little more delusion because I believe that sometimes these people are able to manifest their shit.
I'm like, man, it's like you you'll end up having a cult classic, like what's his name?
Yeah.
Tommy from The Room, whatever that movie is called. Like, but it's just it's just there's this limited series I'm in now that is on Hulu, and it's about the Clippers owner a few years ago, Donald Sterling, and the way him and his wife walk around, they're like, ignorance is bliss to a certain group of people. Like some people can't afford it, literally can't afford it, but like just to be so like, what's the big deal? And they're saying like the craziest offensive things or being the most disrespectful person there could be, but you'll be fine, and just like, and have no, and like they won't care that to see if you're hurting or even
No.
clock it. Where me, if I said something, oh wait, did I say something?
Right,
wrong?
right.
Like, you know, I have that awareness, and some people just like la la la.
We need like a happy medium,
I need,
right?
yeah, I need it
Where
because
it's like
I'm
I'm
too far
not
on the other
judging
side.
myself every time I speak, but like
I guess I'm
did I
too
hurt
far.
you?
That's
Sorry. Okay, I do want to know what has been your favorite role to date.
Man, this is tough.
Yeah,
Actually,
there
it
could be a
actually
couple.
literally is.
What did you have the most fun like getting to set? Like the whole experience was like,
Insecure was summer camp for us.
see, that's a great answer.
you
That's
know,
so much fun.
That's, you know, but see, I can't say that's my favorite role. It's just one of my favorite projects.
Yeah.
I love the role.
Yeah.
And that's the one that introduced me. That's the one that got me. People started hitting me up for roles.
Okay, so when did you book this? What year?
2017.
Okay, so you guys,
So that's 2 years after.
2011, if I remember,
Yep.
is when you booked your first
I'm
national.
glad yep, I know where you're going with this.
And then 2017, you booked a show where you're like, you feel worthy,
recurring.
proud. It's recurring. Okay.
It's not even regular yet.
Okay.
So let's be
Great
mindful of that.
information. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because it
was
like,
it option for series regular or it was just heavily recurring?
No, to be honest, it was even supposed to be a smaller role. But they got their shooting schedule got cut down because they were trying to end up. First season was 8 episodes, such a smash. They were trying to do 10 episodes. Shooting schedule got cut into because they were like, "Nah, we want you guys to be a summer show now instead of a fall show." So they just kept it at 8. And this character that I am was actually originally 2 different characters. Then they just molded him into one, and then when I got there, they just kind of just add a little bit more, and it was, I mean, I couldn't be more grateful. Like when I tell you, you know, I try to tell people too, for anybody like, you know, grinding at this, it's not even the one necessary that a lot of people watch sometimes. Like if the industry is a fan of that show, shit shakes for you. I can't tell you to this day, I've worked plenty now. To this day though, that role gets me, like I'll pull up to something, I might not be on the list, but I swear I'll try to think who gonna be. I was like, all right, I'll just walk up. And because they fucked with Insecure so much, like they'll just slide me in. Shout out to Issa, cause
yeah.
it's like the easiest pass ever. It's like it's
so funny.
amazing, and I'm super grateful for it. I really am grateful for it. On YouTube, I watched a show called Awkward Black Girl. See, directed by Issa Rae, directed by Issa Rae. On the related videos, it said Awkward Black Girl. Let me see this. Click. I'm watching this, all of the episodes. I'm just like, this is fucking brilliant. Who's like, they're making this for no money. I was like, see, you
Was
could
that
just
Issa
get
Rae
up and
too?
go. It was Issa's. So now Awkward Black Girl. Then Pharrell catches wind of it, and I think he gets a part of it. She gets a deal somewhere that doesn't work out, and then Awkward Black Girl ends up turning to be, that's the basis for Insecure, which ends up being on HBO.
That's right. I did know this actually.
And so it was just, when I seen that announcement, I was like, oh, that's crazy, because I've been following this for years. Like, wow, this is like, I was a fan of this.
Yeah.
Because I was even going to try to find like people's Facebooks, like, how could I be a part of it? I don't care if I'm just like one line. I just want to be in this world with y'all. You know, I was trying to figure
And
that
then you
out.
book Insecure.
Then I book Insecure. And what's even crazier about that, I would say a week before I got the audition, I was looking up all these interviews of the cast of Insecure, everything they did, Donald Glover, Lena Waithe, because I was like, as a writer, as somebody in this age range, in a sense, they're a little older, but in that pocket, I was like, I just want to see what their process is and what's it like for them, because this is the world I'm going to be in. I hit up my agent and was like, yo, Jay Ellis, who was a leading man on that show, he played Lawrence. He's about 6'5". Her brother's about 6'5". So I'm like, Issa's like 5'9". I hit up my agent. I was like, yo, they're not shy about tall people in this, so keep an eye out on this. I don't care if it's just a date. I don't care if it's one episode. Cool. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought I wasn't going to find myself on there somewhere. I just thought, it'd be like a random date she goes on to, and then she's like, oh, it didn't work out with that guy. Whatever. One episode. I was like, I don't care. I love this. It's great. Like, that next week or 4 days later, my agent was like, yo, you're getting so strong with this stuff. I have a really good audition for you. And I was like, all right, what is it? She goes, a recurring role on Insecure. Then I was like, oh, send it now. So I'm seeing it says half black, half Mexican. And I was like, well, I could pull that off. Shit, I'm Latino. So
Yeah.
I was like, half black, all right. I remember calling my agent. I was like, this is mine. I was like, this is mine 1,000%. When is this? Finally, she was like, okay, you're gonna, it's this day, and I get to audition for Vicky Thomas, Quentin Tarantino movies, all those. I've always wanted to read for her. Amazing black woman. I go in there, and then it feels fine, but you never really know. But then at the end of the audition, me and Vicky, she's asking me all these questions. I'm talking to her for like 20 minutes
No
afterwards.
way.
I was just like, well, this is a good sign.
That never happens to me.
Great, really?
Yeah.
That it rarely has
Yeah.
happened. That's probably happened twice to me.
Yeah.
Only twice to me. So then when I leave, on my way to my car, my agent was like, "Oh," she was like, "You must have killed it. You got a call back."
Stop.
I was
the
like-
best feeling ever.
I was like, "No, okay, great." I was like, "All right, cool." The next day she called me. She's like, "Okay, so no call back." I was like, "What the fuck?" She was like, "You're gonna do a chemistry read with Yvonne Orji, who plays Molly, who
Yeah.
my character was involved with." I was like, "Oh, like the actress actually?" I'm like, "Okay, shit, okay, cool." And she was like, "Yeah, so it'll be at Sony." And she's like, with the producer and everything. So, you go in there. And then, so I go to Sony that day to do the test. And I see who some of the people there that are testing for those roles. Like
Yeah.
3 other guys. One, I think he was just getting started. And then the other 2 guys I recognize. So I was just like, oh, okay. One of them's a fucking singer. And I was like, I swear to fucking God, do not give it to this little dude. He way shorter than her. I don't want to see this, man. I'm tired of this. They get all the other roles. Let me have this
Yeah.
one. Shit. So I was like, all right, nah. I don't want. So I was like, okay. I wasn't worried about him. I'm like, nah, she way taller than that's not gonna work. That's not sexy. Okay, cool. Get him out of here. Then the other dude, I was like, you're a wild card because I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So maybe it's between me and you. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of tall. He's here, so he must have some type of chops. Vicky Thomas knows what the fuck she's doing,
Yeah.
so he must know what he's doing. All right, cool. So then I go in there. See Issa, Prentice Penny, our showrunner, our Amy, our Melina Masuka. She did Lemonade for Beyonce. Like, I'm seeing I'm like, damn, all right. I see Yvonne, cool. We do our scene and it's great. Okay, cool.
How
I
many
feel good
times did
about
you do it?
Twice, because they just gave me one note and then we did it a second time
Yeah.
and that was it. I wasn't in there that long.
Does that ever deter you when you do it? Like,
At the beginning it did, and then
Yeah.
I got to a point where, because there was one time I booked something, I thought I shit the fucking bed.
right. So
And
when
I
that
was just
happens, you're
like-
like,
So I was like, never mind. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I guess I don't. So I was just like, I started throwing that out the way.
yeah, which is better.
Yeah. And I love the saying, I detach until I'm attached. So that's how it is. And so I'm like, all right, cool.
Say that again for the people in the back.
So
What is
yeah, I detach until I'm attached. So
the role.
as soon as if we were here and doing an audition, cool, I could be having a chem read with Lupita Nyong'o right here,
Right.
and I'll be like, oh, it's so close. I'll leave this, and I'll be like, that's that. I'm about to go eat. Hey,
Yeah.
what you doing? Let's go get a drink. I
Yeah.
do something. I distract myself immediately, so I can already get in the mode of just. And then now I clear myself from it.
Yeah.
So that way, if it do come to me, it's like, oh, it's just a bonus. Like,
It's a
because
bonus.
my life's the same right now until you come and change it. Whatever it
Right.
is. So I was like, all right. So I leave there, get to my car. I drive now. Sony is in Culver City. Sony Studios is in Culver City. I'm driving all the way back to North Hollywood, where I'm staying with my boy Melvin Gregg, who's also another amazing actor. I was sleeping on this couch for like a year for free. We were
Shut
just
up.
grinding. We were just grinding, me, and we're just, I'm almost exiting, and my agent calls me. She was like, I'm sorry, you don't have no plans for the rest of the day, were you doing something right now? She's like, can you go back? I was like, can I go back to what, Sony? And she was like, yeah. I was like, God, what? Right now? I'll do it on foot if they need me. Like, I'll
Yeah.
go back right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I go back. Now it's just Vicky and her associate. And she's like, I just want to make sure there's no leaf unturned. So I'm going to give you these notes. Let's do it again. You all right? She's like, and I'll send this tape to them because I really want you to get this.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
They're always rooting for us, the casting directors.
Because if we're right, it makes them look good too.
Yes,
I always tell people
exactly.
they're way more on your side than you think. If you're just not right for it, it's okay. They're not against you. It's just it's their job,
It's
right?
not you.
So I always tell people, don't take it personal. But it's hard, right? You
Yeah.
hear so many no's at one point, you're like, what the fuck? But so
Weirdly, when you start getting closer to roles too, it
Yeah.
starts getting
Oh,
more
it-
like
yeah.
they hate me, and it's like, no, you literally
it's
was
so fun.
between
I'm
you
like,
and
dog,
one
look
other
at that.
person.
Yeah, like I know that, and I had to start
Happens to
realizing
me.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It still happens. It still happens.
Yeah.
It's never ending cycle, right?
We're human. It's like we feel things.
Of course. You're just like, man. So then I do it again, take her notes. She loves it. Okay, great. So now She's like, thank you for driving all the way back here. She's so sweet about it. I was like, all right, appreciate you, Vicky. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I leave. Now I'm walking through. And when I'm at a studio a lot, though, if I audition there, I would take an extra 30 minutes for it. I'm just walking around Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
totally.
like, I love it. So I'm at Sony. I'm like, Ray Donovan's filming. I'm like, what's happening in here? And shit. So I'm like trying
We have
to
our
see
little
Lee
badge
Schreiber.
with your name on it.
Exactly.
You're like, yeah, I'm meant to be here.
Yeah, you see this lanyard? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then I'm walking to my car finally after what, and then while I'm getting to my car, literally about to reach the handle, I get another call. This time it's from Vicky's, like, you know, them. She's like, please don't tell me you drove away. I was like, nah, I'm about to. I just got to my car. I was like, why? And she was like, I'm so sorry. Can you please come back in one more time? I straight up just said, I was like, this shit mine, right? Because now I was like, I've never done this in my life. I was like, nah. I was like, I'll come back. It's no problem. Don't apologize.
Yeah.
I have nothing better to do. Trust me.
Literally.
This is what I want to do. No, don't apologize. They're laughing and stuff. Okay, cool. I go in there. She hands me a new scene, right? So she's like,
cold read it.
which I loved it because this scene I was like, oh, see, I could do this, something with this. So she gives me that. It's like 3 pages. I was like, this is nothing. All right. I go learn it in 10 minutes. She was like, you can have as much time as you want. You don't have to do it. And I was like, no, let's do it now. I'm good. She was like, are you sure? She's like, you could have more time. I was like, I'm good. So I do it. She likes it. She gives me a note. I do it again. Boom. Okay. So then I was like, now before I leave here, do you need anything? They start laughing. All right, cool. I leave. I don't hear nothing for a couple of days.
Oh, the worst.
So I'm like, hold on. I know y'all didn't have me come in there.
I've never experienced more anxiety in my entire life than that window of time. Being pinned, heavily pinned.
Oh my God, the
strong
heavily.
pinned.
Yeah, don't give me no adjectives before that shit. I don't need that
exactly.
extra pressure. So
Every time your phone rings, it's like,
man. And I'm like, what, mom?
yeah, exactly.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. That afternoon, I get that call from my agent. And she tried to she did that bullshit where she didn't sound that excited.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of hear the tone, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hello?
all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, so I just want to tell you that you got it. And I was just like, oh, let's go. So me in the house, we were like, it's me, my boy Mad Stefan. We were like, yeah, let's go. We were like cheering us up. I'm like tearing up.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can't believe I missed this important part of the story. Right before that, I auditioned in season 2. I auditioned for a role in Stranger Things. And then I got a call back. And I got another call back. And then so I was up for this role in Stranger Things, right? Which seemed to have been the big role, but then ended up not being really. Like a lot of people don't really remember the role as much, you know.
It's meant to be that you didn't get it.
Yeah. And I realized some of the lines I read in my audition they were given to another character. I don't know if they added another character. So I was like, oh, they kind of split this character up. And so I remember thinking, I was like, damn, because you're thinking, I was like, I get this, Stranger Things.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you're thinking. Then I saw that second season. I was like, oh, he wasn't really in, oh, dang. And if I would have gotten that, I wouldn't have been able to do Insecure or audition for it or get that. So I'll tell people when you thinking oh, you were so close to getting that, it could be Batman. You know what I'm saying? It could be that. If you don't get it, then that means something's coming. That energy is so tangible. It's so magnetic. Strong. Yes,
when you're on fire.
Something. Yes. Oh my, because people just smell it.
You can't see it when you're in it.
I know.
You cannot
you're so
see
locked
it.
In.
You're not like, oh, I feel it. You're just like, another one I didn't get. Shit. You know.
I know. I can't the journey's been so interesting. I feel like I've lived many lives, man. I've done all types of things. I boxed, I played basketball, I did, all this stuff. But I will say that one thing that has remained consistent is just my frame of mind, my way of thinking, no matter in what you do. So our way of thinking doesn't just have to be with what we do in this business. We just hear a lot of people talk like this because we're given a platform to do interviews, right? So you just hear us doing this. But I mean, it's been so from Insecure, just now what's been able to come after that, I've been really, really grateful. And then on the writing and producing side, it's been way easier to get meetings. It's like that created there's so many people from Insecure Jay Ellis was in Top Gun. You know, and he's doing amazing things. Yvonne book deals, HBO stand-up specials.
Yeah,
producing
everyone on that
writers
show.
are like having HBO deals or a deal somewhere else. Everybody. One of the people that started as a writer assistant ended up being a showrunner for Rap Shit, which was Issa's next show that she produced. Just so many people from that umbrella. And that's why Insecure was so special to me. Why I say is at least as far as a favorite project, because what she created for a lot of like black artists and just other artists too, not just black artists, but that's so special to me because growing up, I would see Spike Lee use the same actors and stuff. And you see Quentin Tarantino, Judd Apatow, and you're like, man, I would love to be a part of someone's team like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so
take me with you.
Yeah. Can I play too?
Yeah.
But and so for me, I'm such a fan of seeing people win. I'm a cheerleader. I don't have an envious bone in my body. I just doesn't exist in me. I think that's a disease. You know what I'm saying? When I'm thinking like being jealous, I can't find it in me too.
So you're not a Scorpio.
Rising.
Okay.
I'm a Pisces though. Okay. But yeah, like no, and not to say that you can't want the things that you see somebody else's have. I'm not that, you know, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But I do really much like I will support everybody. If I see you posting a show, you know, I'm gonna at least, maybe I'm not gonna watch the show, but I'm gonna go to watch your scenes.
Totally. No, I feel you.
I'm gonna go do that. Like my boy Woody, he's on Power, the Book of Ghosts or Ghost, whatever, however called. Yeah.
Ghost is good.
Yeah, Ghost. I haven't watched like the show entirely, but I've watched his scenes, and he's a beast. Shout out to Woody. So you know, like I just want people to win, and so Issa created like a bunch of winners. It was just amazing, and my dream is to be able to create that because in a small way, I've been able to kind of help this person get cast on something, cast this person in this thing I'm doing.
It's so fulfilling though, right?
Oh my gosh, I love
especially because when you first start pursuing this career, you're vying for jobs the whole time, and you're like. And so finally, when you're given an opportunity, you're like, come with me. Like you said, come up with me. And it's just fulfilling.
Did you know how Tell Me Lies was going to do? Like, did you know there was going to be a response to that?
No. I have always gone in with the mindset of like, I'm going to do this. I'm so excited to be working, to be booking. But I never think of like, which maybe is going to sound like a lie, but I'm being serious. I don't think of the outcome. I'm just like, I'm working. But I'm not like, oh, this is going to blow up. There's just too much shit out there. There's no recipe. It's weird.
You never know.
It's so weird. You know, you have the Riverdales.
The Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks.
Who the fuck would have known?
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, shout out to them. They're all cool people too. But
totally.
Yeah, you would have never known.
And even Raising Kanan they just got picked up for season 5.
5. I'm like, dog, has it been 5 seasons already?
5. So you never know. Even Tell Me Lies, like it did really well. It wasn't in Outer Banks though.
No.
You know, and sometimes things take like season 1, season 2, and then all of a sudden people start watching it. I think Euphoria was a slow, whatever the opposite of a slow burn would be. Right. Started off like, oh, we don't know, and then it shot up.
Went crazy.
So
that's how Insecure was. I think like probably by the 5th, 6th episode of season 1 is when people were like, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I think there are certain type of shows like Outer Banks and all this, that makes sense. YA.
Yeah.
YA will blow up.
Yes.
Because the demographic is going to blow it up on social media. They live on this, right? That's how they are. Euphoria is as mature the story content is. It's still based in high school, right?
Yep.
And so that in between though, when you do find niggas like a Tell Me Lies, and all
it's a little bit older.
Ones, it's so to find even the amount of legs it does with the older.
Oh, absolutely.
A little bit older crowd. That's I mean, because that's where I came out. I was like, I want to watch this. Yeah.
I was excited for sure because I had people from the people that bullied me actually in high school started but really DMing me like, oh, I love this show. I'm so
right. Now kiss her ass. You get the fuck out of here, man. No.
Oh no, 9th grade. I'm sure they've changed. But
trust me, I've been there.
It was exciting to see, definitely the response and how much people are waiting for season 2.
The anticipation for that is crazy.
I know. the exciting thing I think about what we do in general is like there's a bunch of stages of like happiness, okay?
Yes.
There's getting the audition in your email. That's always exciting, right?
Yeah.
You see one come in,
Right,
you're like,
cool,
"Oop, an opportunity." Yep. And then you book it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to film it.
Yep.
And then it comes out. So there's like
Yeah,
4 stages of
absolutely.
like euphoria.
Absolutely.
And then it goes away.
And then it does.
And
as
that's-
fast as it came is as fast as it goes. Even faster it goes.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, you have to have other passions and hobbies outside of acting that
Gotta
make
be
you
fulfilled.
feel full as a human being, because
Yeah.
there's just not enough.
I didn't have like early 20s. Well, throughout my 20s, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I will say this, but like eat, sleep, drink, film business, right? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Every day I was like, how am I getting better? I'm watching, I can't tell you how many hours of interviews I've watched, books I've read, plays I've seen, 99 see. I don't care. I was looking up some random things. I was going to go see everything, checking out. I'm auditing every acting class, even if I'm already in one. I was like, yeah, but I don't have class on Wednesday. Let me see what class is here. I was going to audit it and see what's going on. I was doing so much that even though that's not a healthy way to keep going in longevity, that served its purpose to get me to where I'm at, I think.
Yeah. But
But
also,
you just need to wake up at some point. That's the thing.
yeah, but I think what you're saying is good. This is when people are like, well, why aren't I? Because I've done a couple mentorship sessions with
proactive.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just like, I don't know what to do. And I never was able to circle back. But something you said earlier was that you, for the Insecure show,
Yeah.
you were like, all right, what is this girl doing? Like, why is this so fascinating to me? Oh my God, she's done this. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
binge this. I'm going to see this. Hey, team, this show's coming out. I see tall people on this show.
Yup.
Like, that is so specific.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
exactly what we need to be doing as actors, because people are
Yeah.
always like, what can I do to further my career? Because as
Yeah.
actors, we can't submit ourselves on things. The only thing you can do is exactly that. Call your
Yeah.
team. Hey, by the way, I took up boxing. I'm actually really good.
Yeah.
So put that on my
yup,
on my
absolutely.
shit if you see it. Or those are the type. That's all
Absolutely.
we can do is
1,000%.
and then be super informed and watch shows, watch movies.
Yeah.
Look up directors. Start manifesting. Write down. Okay, I
Yeah.
would love to work with this director
Know the
on this
producers,
network.
writers. It's important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I tell people, just assume that if you're just an actor, just assume that they view us like dumb. Like
Yeah.
we're dumb. Because a lot of times they do. I've been in these conversations with some of these people. But that's why they're always like, oh, you know your shit. Like they'll say something like that when you're basically able to engage in that conversation at the same level as them. Even if it's not the same, in some way, the capacity to, and I'm not saying
Bringing
if-
something to the table,
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
other than like, oh yeah, I could play this role. I could do this
yeah,
role.
exactly.
but-
Because everybody feels that, right?
Why do I want to spend 14 hours a day on set with you
Yeah,
and build,
absolutely. Like
a
I want to
show?
feel like you care about it. And again, like everybody's process is different. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to do that, you very much don't have to. But I do notice a difference in treatment. I will say I do notice a big difference in, because I came in this really writing as well. I was like on a writing staff for something that was going to be Apple's TV's first show that was starring Dr. Dre, that he was producing as well. But stuff happened, whatever. And I will say, when people find out maybe that you write or that or find out your knowledge about this stuff, versus they just view you as an actor, they talk to you different, and they are talking with you instead of just like, at you or in general or stuff like that, or kind of keeping the conversation a little surfaced and stuff. There is a big difference in that. I've noticed and I'm not just saying recently, just throughout the years. So I will say it's just at least worth jotting down and noting that, because even if that's not your personality, that's fine, but find something, like I said, at some point, like you said, you do have to find something else, because if you just, it's a rough one to put all your eggs and just
It's not what you think.
for my
No, I'm just
happiness,
kidding.
like that's
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, obviously
It
like
could
cool
still be
stuff
in
happens
film.
it
It could be
for sure.
writing and stuff.
For sure,
You just
that's
can't
what
be
I
like,
think.
all I want to do
Yeah.
is audition for roles and book them.
Yeah, I know.
Because there comes a certain point where
yeah.
that's just not unless you're the,
Like a Nepo baby.
yeah, Nepo baby, or the stars of the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, yeah, of course. At some point, yeah. Did you find yourself picking up things because you're like, this might be useful? Have you ever done that?
What are you talking about?
Like hobbies or talents or anything, or like learning something just to like, you're like, this might be useful.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm very
like legal jargon. I'm like, well, shit.
right,
I'm
random
like,
shit like that. Yeah. It's a good question. No, I'm very entrepreneurial. So my endeavors outside of acting are
I
like,
respect that, man.
yeah, are like creating. Like I have a journal company. I created a morning routine journal called
See,
Magic.
that's great. Oh,
And
yeah,
so,
boom.
oh my God, he has a tattoo that says magic on his hand. It stands for meditation, affirmations, gratitude, intentions, and coffee.
Oh,
And it's
wow,
a morning
that's fire.
routine. So like
I
that's
respect that. I'm a good businessman,
Yeah.
but I'm not an entrepreneurial mindset. I'm not that. I know how to do good business when I have the thing down.
Yeah.
And I take a very long time to develop it. But I don't like I find with y'all that I admire so much is that an idea will happen and it could get into the works and the product can happen, but in like this timely manner that I'm like, dog. Like for me, let's just say I did that same thing, magic. It would have taken years.
yeah. I'm definitely like a
years.
visionary. I see something and I'm like, it all happens in my head and I'm like,
Yeah. I'm so
Action.
nitpicky,
I'm
man.
like, go.
Yeah, see, I love that. I do respect that.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that.
But it's something. So that's my thing. And
Yeah.
yours is, I mean, you do a lot more than writing, producing,
yeah. Attention to
directing.
detail is kind of my thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a sense.
And I don't do anything inside the industry that's like
Also admire that.
like writing or anything. No, I
Yeah.
think that it's great to be doing that, especially now we want to be like creating our own content and stuff. And I'm like,
for sure. For sure. I know. Yeah. But not everybody wants, like, I know people, actors that have no desire
That's
to
me.
direct and produce and write. I get that.
Yeah.
They do have other things though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, your time is able to go somewhere though.
somewhere.
And that's, you
Even
can
if
channel
you're
that.
working, like I was gone from January to May working.
Okay,
I was
got you.
filming
Oh, yeah, I thought you were-
that and Tell Me Lies this year.
Oh.
But even
fuck
with
yeah.
all that, and it's amazing, I was on airplanes. 17 airplanes by like May 1st. And so like,
Whoa.
sure, someone could be content with like just chilling.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I
I'm a
want to be
busybody.
like creating something
I'm
or
a
something.
busybody.
So that was the podcast and
Okay, I guess I was gonna ask how that came about because it's like I wanted to do something like this so bad. Just have conversation like this fills me up. Like
Yeah.
Like I'm Dave's mad cool. Like, but I got nervous and I want to know what your perspective is on this or how you see it. So the difference from movie stars back then to now or TV, like nothing's really as separated now. Like a celebrity is like all kind of jumbled up into one because social media kind of gives access to everybody here, right? There was like this mystique, this kind of mystery to people. We didn't like, what does John C. Reilly eat? I don't know. What is he like? I don't know because he's not, we didn't know, we didn't have that at our access when we were younger, you know? So there was such a separation. And I will say, like, there are some people who started getting, like, let's just say there's certain actors that started getting, like, heavy into social media, like, using it heavily. Like, I'll say this and it was only happening for a little bit, but when Will Smith got to Instagram, it was, like, the greatest thing ever when he first got on. I was like, oh, this is dope. And then there was a point where I felt like I was getting so much of him. Like, when I started seeing some other stuff, it was getting a little hard.
blurry.
Yeah, and that right there, when I first had that thought, made me so nervous to how accessible I make myself or to do a podcast. I'm like, damn, do I make myself accessible every week?
It's a struggle.
Like, I want to know, like, do you ever have that thought?
Absolutely. And like this could be a whole nother episode.
Yeah. So, okay, well, let's address
but
that.
it's a daily struggle. Not a struggle as in like struggling, but it's a daily back and forth of like,
course.
yeah, like, ooh, do I want to be putting all this out there? It's a lot of time and energy, right? Like, am I really
to do anything good? Yeah.
Yeah, am I really passionate about it? Do I want to put myself out there because also I'm putting myself out there to be judged on even a casting director, producer, director standpoint.
Yeah,
they can
just
look at
hearing
me
your
and be like,
thoughts,
"Oh,
be
she's not the
vulnerable.
girl. She's kind of a
Yeah,
little."
yeah.
So
No, I understand.
there's tricky because I have castmates in some of my shows who are not on social media,
Yeah.
but they work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, they're so mysterious.
I know. I love that.
I don't
met
know.
people
Another
like
episode.
That too. Yeah, for sure. Touched on in other races. But yeah.
I appreciate you
No,
so
thank
much
you.
for being here. Honestly, it was so fun to hear your story from the
Yeah,
ground up
I'm happy.
because I didn't, number one, I didn't know anything. And I think that so many people are going to be able to relate to you and be like, Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
You
getting
really
a series regular is almost a better part of a decade. I want people to remember that. It took me almost like a decade to get a series regular for the first time. So it's not just you, trust me. It's like always, it takes so long to just get something substantial.
Yep. And I love what you said about getting a procedural is the rite of passage, a guest star.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care if I'm dead body number 2. Like, let me get in. Everybody has that credit.
Everybody
I just wanted
has
one.
it. Yeah, exactly.
I think like when I watched you do this with Priscilla, shout out to Priscilla too, by the way. She's so great.
She introduced us.
Yes, exactly.
She's given me like 3 of my podcast guests.
I love, of course, that sounds about right.
She's my booking agent.
She's great. So fine. Anyways, but
stunning.
But seeing this, like you guys, like really, this is amazing. I love this because when I watched it, the main thing when she's like, "Oh, you guys should connect," I immediately, when watching this, it felt like a safe space and nothing I felt like I had to get in my head about. Because there's other times, like people have approached me wanting to, like, or I've watched other podcasts I enjoy, but I was like, I'd never be on there.
Right.
It doesn't like necessarily feel safe. Not that they're attacking anybody, but almost like their platform or the people that watch or sometimes the questions they can ask or what kind of position they take or they try to might get stuff. Most of the time, a lot of stuff doesn't feel safe. And so when I was watching you and Priscilla, it felt like I was watching 2 homegirls talking about their journey. It felt like a safe space and environment, and that was infectious. And I was like, oh, I love what she's done here because, like I just said, I was like, I always had the dream and desire, but kind of got in my head about it, about doing this, like, because being so scared to be vulnerable, and just didn't want people to have that struggle to separate, but also at the same time, it's like, also who gives a fuck? It's like this like balance of like not giving a fuck and giving a fuck too much. It's just like, so I do appreciate what you guys like for real done.
Well, I appreciate that because that's the whole vibe here.
I love that,
and I just want always the person to feel comfy and you're great. You're natural. Like, I mean, obviously, as an actor, it's kind of easy for us to like. And also shout out to Mastermind Media because they're amazing. They create a beautiful space and a comfy space.
Great. Can I tell people what to watch?
Please, yes. Tell us where to watch you.
I have 2 limited series that are like airing at the same time right now on Hulu and Apple TV.
A dream. Yes,
it's amazing. I'm so happy about it. The one on Hulu is called Clipped, and it's starring Lawrence Fishburne, Ed O'Neill, J. Alphonse Nicholson, Cleopatra. She's doing amazing. And it's about the Clippers organization, Donald Sterling, the Sterlings, and this drama that happened back in 2014-15. I'm portraying my boy Matt Barnes, who I actually know in real life, and I'm portraying him.
Wow.
It was crazy. So that's on right now. I think the 4th episode's out already today. Today, every Tuesday it drops. So 6 episodes, very entertaining. I love it because they use a vehicle of humor, not just to tell another like racist story. I don't want to get beat over the head with it, but they do have a lot of humor in it, and it's I'm really proud of that one and be a part of that. And then the other one is called Presumed Innocent on Apple TV, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Sarsgaard, Bill Camp, and then my scenes are with Ruth Negga, and she's just incredible. And David E. Kelly, he's done shows you all love, Big Little Lies, 9 Perfect Strangers. But so that's on Apple TV, and tomorrow the 3rd episode sorry, I'm timing this. I don't know when it's coming out, so forget that. But on Wednesdays, the new episodes for Apple TV drop for the Presumed Innocent, and I come in the 3rd episode, and I'm in a few episodes of that. But I'm just like,
dude,
yeah,
congratulations, by the way.
I'm
That's
so happy.
Seriously,
thank you. I'm really grateful. Like, so
and also I can
it.
see your work ethic just through chatting with you. You were like, when on your days off, you were like, all right, what can I be doing to like manifest this dream? This was like a true dream in you since you were young.
Absolutely.
Do you ever look at that and you're like, wait,
I can't tell you how.
What's
that's
happening?
Why I find your trials are important, because when you're around other people like minded, like we're get to remind each other and stuff. So I have those moments all the time. I'm very grateful. I live in gratitude because the universe gives you more to be grateful for. You know what I mean? So,
but you worked hard for it too. It's like a mixture of it all.
Absolutely.
Which is what the whole point of the show is about. It's like, look, if you combine your hard work with sprinkle in some healthy habits, sprinkle in some manifesting, be a good person, and listen to your heart and your gut and where it's steering you, and eventually something will happen.
Man. Oh, amazing. Appreciate this.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Sarunas.